The promised Messiah has drawn our attention to three stages of moral advancement regarding our dealings towards other people. The first stage requires that we should at least treat others in the same way that they treat us. We should return good for good. The second stage requires us to return better treatment and greater good for that which we have received, while the third stage calls upon us to render service and do good to others without any thought of receiving anything in return. We should never even hint to the person that he is under an obligation of any kind to us. This state of mind should be cultivated to the extent that it functions as second nature, as does the love of a mother towards her child. Moral virtues embrace numerous personal qualities. Among them are self-respect and respect for others, kindness, sympathy, honesty, forgiveness, simplicity, cleanliness, gentleness, courage, goodness, nobility, patience, steadfastness, perseverance, charity, generosity, politeness, hospitality, mercy, justice, self-control, contentment, cheerfulness, hopefulness, gratitude, chastity, tolerance, love, unselfishness, and many more which could be added to this list. No exemplar of virtue excelled the Holy Prophet of Islam. The following verses, taken from a poem written by the promised Messiah, extol the high morals of the Holy Prophet of Islam. What a noble man! What a comely man! His breath smells like the breath of flowers. God is visible in his face. Such are his virtues. Such is his case. That is why he is loved. Indeed, his virtues demand that he should be loved to the exclusion of all. Easy of access, noble, bounteous, friend of the God-fearing, and he excels all in excellence and nobility, in glory and the beauty of the soul. Muhammad is the best of creatures, the soul of the nobles, the elect of the elect. All noble virtues have found their limit in him. The blessings of all times have found their place in him. By God, Muhammad is next to God, and through him alone can we reach God. He is the pride of the pious, the holies. He is the pride of the men of virtue. He excels all those who are honored before him. Indeed, excellence is a matter of virtue and not of time. I have already explained from the Holy Quran that the cultivation of Islamic virtues is the purpose of our creation, and it would, therefore, be a folly on our part to neglect the object of our existence, for then we would be the losers in both the worlds. The development of moral virtues is the highest and most rewarding of all accomplishments. In no other pursuit can we find greater satisfaction and happiness, not even in the accumulation of a large fortune. The first requisite needed in the achievement of any objective is that we should be charged with an earnest desire to attain it. Otherwise, we're not likely to get very far. Enthusiasm makes all the difference. It jet propels us towards our objective, whatever it may be. Let us, therefore, be in earnest. The Holy Quran mentions certain people who declared, "We earnestly wish that the Lord should include us among the righteous people." These people earnestly wished to become righteous. They were not indifferent about it, nor did they only mildly wish for it. They earnestly wished for it, and as a result of their enthusiasm to become virtuous, they were successful and became the recipient of God's favors and blessings. As the next verse tells us, so Allah rewarded them for what they said, with gardens beneath which streams flow. Therein shall they abide. That is the reward of those who do good. Let us enter this crusade to develop and improve moral virtues within ourselves earnestly and with enthusiasm. Then our efforts are sure to bear fruit, blessed and rewarded by God. The next point is the subject of prayer. The promised Messiah has said that one is proud who places complete faith in one's own powers and does not recognize the omnipotence of God. He declared that his only weapon was prayer, and that he relied on the help of God for everything. It is essential that we resort to prayer and seek God's assistance in our efforts to develop moral virtues. Sincere prayer is itself a virtue. As said in the Holy Quran, remembrance of Allah is indeed the greatest virtue. Again, God tells us in the Holy Quran of another great benefit of prayer. Surely, prayer restrains one from indecency and manifest evil. In these permissive times, we need every ounce of strength to resist the multifarious temptations which assail us from all directions. God tells us that the answer lies in prayer. So the next step for us is to give more attention to prayer. Not only should we be regular in our daily prayers, but we should also pray for protection against the incitements of Satan. The Holy Prophet of Islam has also spoken on the efficacy of prayer in times of temptation. He said, "As to those who are virtuous, when a suggestion from Satan assails them, they remember God, and behold, they begin to see things right." I now come to another point, which is the management of our thoughts, because everything originates from thought. I would like to quote a short passage from the Bible. "As a man thinketh in his heart, so he is." Scientific research has conclusively established the fact that man is what he thinks, and he becomes what he thinks. He is the product of his thoughts. Our character is no more than the embodiment of our thoughts. We build our character on the foundation of our thoughts. What we think, we become. We possess the power to govern our own thoughts, and thereby build a character of our own choice, because Our character is no more than a reflection of our own thoughts. An immoral character grows from the seeds of immoral thoughts, while a virtuous character grows from the seeds of virtuous thoughts. This law of mental science operates as assuredly as does the law of gravity or any of the other stable laws of this universe. We may use it to our own immense advantage in the development of moral virtues by discarding and omitting impure and negative thoughts from our mind and concentrating only on virtuous ones. One thing we do possess, which no government can take from us, is the freedom to choose and control our own thoughts. Just as a gardener keeps his garden free from weeds and grows only the flowers and fruits of his own choice, so may we cultivate the garden of our mind by weeding out undesirable thoughts and planting only noble, pure, and virtuous ones, which will grow, bloom, and color our character with their fragrance and splendor. We wish to close our minds to impure thoughts and to discard those which happen to sneak in. Islam teaches us to keep away from those things which breed evil, and for this reason to keep away from dance halls, gambling shops, public houses, brothels, and low forms of entertainment. Other things which should be shunned are the lewd type of paperback novels which flood the bookshops, magazines crowded with photographs of nude women, and most films which may be described as an abomination of Satan. These things are all the work of the devil, aimed to bombard the mind with impure thoughts. Furthermore, we should avoid all uncharitable thoughts towards others, such as hatred, jealousy, deceit, scorn, envy, revenge, etc., as they are also immoral in their way. Not only does the Holy Quran enjoin us to keep away from evil, but also to keep the company of the righteous, from whom we may derive moral upliftment. We should remember that not only are we accountable to God for our actions, but also for our thoughts. We read in the Holy Quran, "Whether you disclose what is in your minds or keep it hidden, Allah will call you to account for it." Being human, it is almost impossible to shut out evil or wrong thoughts completely from our mind. In that case, we are enjoined to discard or suppress them, and doing that is in itself a virtuous achievement. The Holy Prophet of Islam has said, "If a man is assailed by an evil thought, but he suppresses it or drives it out of his mind and does not act upon it, then God will bestow upon him a good reward."